right, so here we are back. We're going to start with CAD 40 in the book, but before we do that, we got to do some setup. So I'm going to close this drawing, and I'm going to start from scratch with a new drawing. So I'll hit New. Start from scratch. We want to go Imperial, and we'll open up. All right, so what we want to do first of all is we want to go ahead and turn this on, okay? So we've got drawing grid and specified angle, Pac-Man in other words. Show stop and show this reference lines, do this, make sure that we have these set, okay? Endpoint, midpoint, center, geometric center, intersection, extension, insertion, perpendicular, and apparent intersection. All those are on. Now we got to start making layers, okay? We got a kind of a list of layers to make this time. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this down here, and I will come over in the corner and I'll make that a little bigger. All right, so new layer. We're gonna start with construction. I'm gonna just do that, and we're gonna make that dark gray. Now, once again, your colors are your choice. These are the ones I like. As long as, you know, the visibility is basically the same as what I'm doing, you do it the way you want. All right, next one's gonna be object lines. I don't know how to spell here. Object lines. And we'll just do it all one word. It doesn't have to be. Now the book says blue. Blue does not show up good against a black background, so I'm gonna go with white on that. All right. Next one's gonna be hidden lines. We'll do those cyan. And don't forget, we're gonna come over here and load up our line type. So we're looking for hidden. Double click, single click, and hit OK. All right, next one. Center lines. That's going to be red, and of course we're going to change that line type, and we're going to go with center 2. And last one, next one, excuse me, not last one. Next one, dimensions. We'll go with magenta on that. And that will be a continuous line type. All right. Next one's going to be section lines. The book says white. I'm thinking blue would be better. And that'll also be continuous. Cutting plane lines. Book's calling for dark gray on that one. I'm going to go with light gray. And those will be phantom lines. So you're going to load and scroll down till you find phantom. And hit OK. All right, last but not least, well, there's two more actually. So title block. We'll go green with that one, and that'll have a continuous line type. And then viewport. And we'll just go white with that one as well because we're going to make some settings on that. All right, so that'll be continuous. Now, if you'll notice, I'm going to scroll this out a little bit. It says plot on this one, right? I don't want the viewport one to plot, so I'm going to turn that plotter off, okay? Now, line weights are over here, and we're going to set some line weights. So construction will be default. Object lines is going to be 0.06. Now, 0.06, it's not 0.06, I'm sorry, it's 0.6. See, I was making the same mistake that most of my students make. They look for 0.06, but it's 0.6. So hit that as OK. Hidden lines will be 0.3. Center lines are default. Section lines are also default. Cutting plane line is going to be 0.6 millimeter. title block will be 1.2 millimeters. And then viewport is default. All right, so that's got all of our line weights and all that set. So we're done with that part. So our layers are good. Now I'm going to make object lines the starting layer, and I'm going to set that down. Now, on page 2 or 7-6 is the bracket design. Now, this is the practice drawing for this one, okay? Now, what they're gonna have you do is they're gonna have you draw the front and the side views of this, okay? And you'll start with construction lines and lay those out, and we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and change to our construction line layer, okay? And then we'll go, remember, draw, and we'll drop down, and this third one over is construction line. And we're just gonna come down close to the thing here, okay? So construction line, pick a point, and go straight up, and then that way. All right, now we can kind of pan over. It's fourth block. Now we can kind of pan over and we can do our offsets. Now if you look on the page at the bottom, it has all your offsets. There's a lot of them. Don't let it confuse you. Just take one number at a time. So we'll do offset, and the first one is going to be 2.875. Okay. Now we're going to come back 1.625. So from here this way is 1.625. So click here, 1.625. Then we'll take this one, we'll go the other direction, okay? Now we got half of that, 0.875, so offset, 0.875. Same, we'll take this line and go this way with it, okay? Now, bottom to the top, total distance is 5.75, so offset, 5.75. That is as tall as it gets. Now everything will come down from that one. All right, let's go back over here. We're gonna bring this one over 2 this way. So offset, 2, pick here, pick there. Then we've got 1.5, offset, 1.5. Let me try that again. Then a 0.5 back, 0.5. All right, and then we got the bottom here is going to come up 1, so offset 1. Then we've got 2 1.75s from this one down, so 1.75, 1.75. So we'll do this, 1.75, 1 and 2. And then we got another one of 4.5, this bottom line up, offset, 4.5. Now, that's got our set. I'm gonna go back to object lines, and I'm just gonna draw these rectangles so that you know where the views are gonna go. One's gonna go there, and one's gonna go there. Explode those so that we can play with them a little bit. All right, so if you look on page 7-10, you will see the 2 that they want you to draw. All right, now you see this button right here? We're going to click that button and we're going to turn on line weight right here. Okay, see there's our line weight button right there. Now, if I click that, now you can see the thickness of the lines. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're just going to draw this thing. And we'll start with the circles first. There's one there. Now I can erase this line out of here. Okay. There's one here. And it goes up here and then comes over here. Now, trim, right click, cutting edge. Pick this and this, and then pick this to trim it off. Now we can trim this one off here. All right, so there's our basic shape there. We know we've got a line coming through here if you look at the thing. So we'll bring one there. This one is coming up 30 degrees, so make sure Pac-Man is set to 30. Pick line, start there, go 30 degrees right there. Now we can trim here and here. We've got two circles to do. One's going to be right here, and the other one's going to be right there. They're both diameters, so do a diameter on this one of 0.625. And then the diameter of this one is 1.75. So there's those two. We'll bring a line straight down to here and go across there. And we will trim here and here and here. And then I'm just going to erase this last little piece. So there's that. Now we'll have a line that comes across here that shows that that goes up. All right, now we got to do our hidden lines. There's one there. And we'll grab that one and copy it here to here. And then you got one here. And we'll grab that one and copy it to those two places. So there's our hidden lines. All right. Now we're going to do a quick fillet. Radius, so remember right click, radius 0.5, and that'll get this. And then we're going to change our radius to 0.25. One here. Oop, wrong thing. There we go. Radius 0.25. Here. Spacebar. Here. Spacebar again. There. It's got those three. One more. Now, once we've done this one, we're going to extend and then pick the top of this line and pick it again to get it back into place. So there's our radiuses. Now, we're going to start dimensioning. I'm going to go ahead and draw a quick center line. I'm going to go across here and stop. Then I'm going to grab this, pick this, and come over here, 0.5. And then pick this way and go the other way, 0.5. And there we go. My center line is drawn. Now, I'm going to turn off or freeze the construction layer. All right, there's my drawings. Now, I'm not doing center lines through the circles for a reason, okay? I'm going to show you a different way of doing those. And the book shows you the same thing. But we're going to set up our dimensions, okay? Now, if you look at the top, you have home, insert, annotate, okay? There's your dimension toolbar. There's also dimensions right here. So if you click on that, it gives you all your dimension styles under there as well, okay? Now, go to Tools, and then go down to Toolbars, and then go over to AutoCAD, and then go to Dimension. And that brings you this toolbar. It sets it right here. So let's grab it and pull it down so that we can see it. There's all your dimensions. This button at the end is Dimension Style, okay? The Style Manager for dimensions. We're going to click that, and it's going to open this up, our Dimension Style Manager. It starts off with standard, and then it's got, you can do a new one, you can change the settings of this one. what we're going to do is we're going to do a new one, and it's going to say, what's the new style name? Right now, it's a copy of standard. We're going to change that. And we're going to call it mechanical, okay? Then we're going to continue. Now, if you look, all of the dimensions on this were what you call decimal, okay? So that's what we want to use when we're dimensioning it. We want to use decimal dimensions, okay? So the book is going to tell you to change it to fractional, but we're not going to do that. We're going to leave it decimal, but we're going to leave it decimal. We're going to change our precision right here. That's too many zeros. So let's go to 3 zeros instead of 4. All right, now if you'll look, you can see 1.016, 1.9. So when we dimension, it's going to be 1 point and then 3 places past the decimal, okay? Now, we're going to come over here, and we're going to tell it to suppress leading zeros, all right? What that does, if it says 0.125, it'll just say 0.125 instead of putting the 0 up front. You'll see it change in this window. See, watch, I'll uncheck it. See, it says 0.8. If I check it again, it just says 0.8. Okay, so that's what we want. Now, fit is our next thing. We're going to use the overall scale of 1, okay? Now, I will usually click on the always keep text between extension lines. That means the text always ends up in here, but we're going to leave it as best fit for now. Now we're going to get to our text size. All right, that is 3/16 of an inch. That is too big for our text. We want our text to be anywhere between 3/32 to 1/4 of an inch tall. The book, or excuse me, 1/8 of an inch tall. The book is going to tell you to do the 1/8. I'm going to tell you to do it 3/32 and enter it this way, 3/32, and then hit enter. Okay, 0.09375, whatever. We're going to pick that and we're going to Control C to copy it. Then go to symbols and arrow, go to arrow size and paste it in there. So we'll Control V in there. All right. And then we'll go to lines and we'll hit Control V in that as well. Now I'm going to go back to symbols and arrows. See where it says center marks? Right now we put just a little center mark in there. Okay, and we can tell it the size, or we can say put a line, and that creates a center line. Let's change it to that for a second. Okay, and then we're going to go here. Everything there is good, so we're going to hit OK. Now, right now it's set to standard. We want to change it to mechanical, so we'll set that as current and then hit close. All right, so now we need to dimension. Okay, so we're going to dimension this. And we're going to start with the center marks, okay? So remember, before we were drawing lines both that way, okay? If you look, you've got this command right here, okay? Center mark. You can also grab it from here, come down here to center mark, okay? Either way is fine, and you just pick that one, and it puts a center line in there for you, okay? So I'm going to hit space bar and do that again. Now I've got a center line in both of those. Now that you've got that, I want this one to extend, so I'm going to hit extend and see what will happen when I do that. But you want to make sure that it's, the same on all of them. So this one, and this one are good, and that one will be perfect as well because it'll stop when it gets to that circle, and we're good. That one is good how it is, so we'll leave it alone. Hit escape to get out of the command, and there we go. All right, so now we want to start putting dimensions in, okay? So I'm going to change to the dimension layer. Here's dimension. Now here is all of your, this is, if I can get it to tell me, linear, which is either 90 degrees this way or 90 degrees that way. Aligned, which aligns to whatever size you pick. Like if I pick this and this, it would make it parallel. And then coordinate, radius, jogged radius, which just, if it's got a really big radius, it'll let you, instead of having it way out in space, it'll let you make it closer. Diameter, angle, so on and so forth. We're going to start with this one, okay? Linear. Now I want to pick a point here and pick a point here and then drag down. All right? Now, that will give us our first dimension. Okay, so we know now that that's 1.625 across there. okay? Now let's get this one. We'll do it the same way. Pick linear, or pick linear from here, either one, or pick linear off of this one. I mean, there's 5 different ways to do it. And that will give us this dimension. Now, you don't want to do it like that, okay? You want to bring it out so there's some space. You want to do it about the same distance, okay? So keep it as even as you can get it. You also need to locate where centers of circles are. And larger dimensions always go outside of smaller dimensions. Okay? You always want to keep your larger ones outside of your smaller ones. We're going to keep doing our linears. Let's get that one up here. See how I'm kind of lining it up with that one? That's so that we can keep things neat and tidy. So when I do this one, I'm going to come out, I'm going to touch that one and keep it green. See, now those two line up. All right, so now if I want to do an angular dimension, I'll pick this one. Or you can pick angular here, or you can pick angular here. Any one of the three work. So angle, we'll pick here, then we'll pick there, and then bring it up this way. And there's our 30 degrees. Okay, radius and diameter dimensions. Remember, this one's radius, and this one's diameter. The way you do the difference is this. If it is a complete circle, use diameter. We'll drag it out here, outside of the part. We'll do that one again. And if it's a piece of a circle, then you'll use radius. So we've got a radius here. Okay. We'll repeat radius for here. And that's got that. And then you're like, well, McLean, wait a second. We've got a 0.25 radius here, 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 and here. Do we have to put one for all of those? You could, but there's an easier way. Let's go to text. Okay, so we're going to click multi-line text. All right, I'm going to draw a little window right here. Okay, that's my text window. So now whatever I type will be in that window. But we need to make sure it's the same size as everything else. So we'll hit 3/32 here and hit enter. All right, now we can type what we need to type. So I'm going to zoom in. Turn my caps lock on. And we're going to type in this. Rounds and fillets are 0.25. And there we go. Now, I'm going to show you how to make some changes. Like, our text looks okay, but there's better looking text out there. So I'm going to make sure that's I, and I'm going to hit this, okay? So there's mechanical, and everything's good. All right. Now, I want to change my text font. So I'm going to come up here, annotation, and I'm going to click that. Now, this is text, dimensions, leaders, and table styles, okay? Let's go back to our text style. So I'm going to pick that, and our font name is right here. Now, I'm going to just type A. That will bring me up to this. So I can pick Arial off of this list and see how my text style changes. Okay, so let's do that. We'll set it to Arial. We'll hit apply, and we'll hit close. See how all my text changed to that Arial type? To me, that's a better looking text than the stock TXT style. But to be honest with you, my favorite text style for all of this, we'll go back here, text style again. Now I'm going to change this to Calibri, so you see. And there's Calibri right there. And then we'll hit apply and close, and it changed it once again. So there we go. So now we've got our text style set. All of our text will come out the same type, and we can move on ahead. So that is basically it on how to use that. And then, you know, and that's basically how you do it. Okay, now, there are some things that you might want to learn how to do, okay? Let's say I'm doing a piece of text, and I want to put diameter instead of radius or whatever like that. What I can do is like save my rounds and fillets are a radius of 0.25, okay? If I wanted to change that to diameter, I could do this, go up here to symbol, and pick. You've got degrees, that'll give you a little degree thing, like the little 0 on the edge here. Plus minus sign, almost equal, angle, and all that. They also give you the actual thing that you could type in. So I could just pick this, and now it's got a diameter in it, okay? But you can also just type in the code. So let's come up here and look. Like say, degrees is %D. Let me zoom in on this so you can see this. I'm going to type this in, and it's basically shift 7, %D. Oops, not the 7. It's the 5. %, and then I'll hit a D, and see, it gives me the little dimension thing. So %C gives you that, okay? And all of those codes are based under here, all right? So that's all of them right there, and it just gives you the code, so you can type that in and you get the squared, you know, so it gives you a little something, it gives you a little 2 up at the top. Like, for example, U plus 00B2, right? Click on that, and there's the little 2, right? And that's how it works, okay? So anyway, we'll grab that. I'm gonna pull this, grab this dot, and you can pull that so it's not right up underneath it. Maybe we can put it there. You can put it anywhere. As long as it's on the drawing, it notates what certain things are. You can shorten it using that. And we'll click. And that is our practice, okay? So you don't have to save this, but I'm gonna go ahead and save it as, you know, a thing so that y'all can learn how to set this stuff up. And as usual, if you're in my class and you have questions, flag me down. If you're not in my class and you have questions, just watch the video again and watch how I do it, okay? And you can probably figure it out from there. You guys are pretty smart. So anyway, we'll stop here and we'll go on to the very first one at the end of the chapter after this. Now, the last thing we want to do before we finish up, I've got all these things set up, right? I've got my colors set up, I've got my line type set up, I've got my text style set up. I don't want to have to do this every single time I start a drawing, okay? So what I want to do is, instead of how we did it before, we would just do a save as and save as and save as, let's do this instead. I'm going to erase all of this. Y'all don't do that. Y'all can just save your drawing. Here, let's go ahead and save first. We'll save this, okay? Call save. And I'm just going to call this, I got to get to my place here. That's not it. There we go. I'm going to call this, I'm going to turn off my caps lock. There we go. Chapter 7. Practice. I'm going to call it that. Now, that is saved. So I'm going to erase everything out of it. Okay. And I'm going to make sure everything is set the way I want it to be set. Okay, I've got that. Yep. Mechanical, standard. Yep. Now, that. Okay. Let's change a couple of things on this, just in case we use this later. I'm just going to modify standard, and I'm just going to do the same 330 seconds there. I'll go ahead and Control C, and then get our text type, Control V. Now, if I do those, it'll automatically come up the right size. We'll save that. All right. And LTS, and I'll just change that to 0.5 globally. All right, so I've got my two toolbars. Everything's good there, okay? There's another way to get to dimensions is right here, okay, under annotate, okay. We'll go back to home, make sure that's good. Now, I've got everything set the way I want it. I'm going to do a save as. So, save as is the one with the pencil on it, okay? Save as. It's going to come up with this. Now, we want to come down here to files of type. We're going to change that, and we're going to look for DWT, AutoCAD Drawing Template, star.dwt. Now, what that's going to do is that's going to go to my template file, okay? And these are all the templates that are already set up. I don't want them there. I want them where my drawings are, okay? So you're going to put them under documents, okay, because that's where yours are at. Mine are not under documents, but I'm going to change them to where I have mine saved. All right, and I'm just going to call this, you want to put your name here, okay? So it'll be like, if your name is Joe, it'll be Joe's document. If your name is Susan, it'll be Susan's template. Not Joe's document, Joe's template. Anyway, whatever, first name template. So we'll call this one McLean's template, okay? Now I'm going to save that. And it asks for a description, and you don't have to type anything in there at all. For me, I'll just put in my template for McLean's class. And we'll hit OK. All right, so, and notice it changes. McLean's template.dwt. So what I want you to do is I want you to close that, okay? So now it's right there, but we're going to do new. So I'm going to click here, and look, it says browse templates and get more templates online. But let's browse templates right quick. So that's going to bring up all the templates that you have set up. But remember, we saved yours under a different spot. So I'm going to go to where I saved mine. And there's my template. So I'll pick my template and I'll hit open. Now I got a brand new drawing, but look, all of my stuff is already set up. Okay? So mechanical setup and all that, everything's good. So we're going to go with that one from now on. Okay? All right, we'll see you for the next drawing.